Emotional.
Get out of here.
So, I don't have to tell everybody the whole story of Trevor's life here because that would take, we'll take real. So, not much happened really. We were short a site manager, and Trevor was in Africa, in West Africa, Liberia, and we reached out and said, how would you like a real job? One that you really can't do, but we'll see how it goes. And here he is.
Oh, yes.
How's it going?
How much do you?
So we had about a year on the project before we got Trevor in, and as some of you know who were here at that time, it was a tough time trying to write the rap and all the other things and negotiate with the government and figure out how to work in this country and in this culture and not make enemies. And then when Trevor came in, we had some structure that we didn't have before. And if anything, that's the part we're going to miss the most. That and his height. Because as the tallest guy in the room, how can you not miss that?
I was happy to see Peter Paris go.
No, we will seriously miss Trevor on this project because he was absolutely integral in turning this project into what ERM called the benchmark for social performance in Vietnam. And that's what they said about a year ago in one of their assessments. And then most recently, Hai came up to me and said the exact same thing, but in a different tone of voice. He said, damn it, you guys are the benchmark for social performance in Vietnam. How are we going to reach that? So, we have, with the great help of all of you, created what is the best project in Vietnam. And Trevor has a lot to do with it. So, I want a round of applause for that one. Because that's something that he'll leave this project with, and you'll know that you created the thing in Vietnam that set new standards and will always be. We probably should have a couple of years ago. Oh, no. Trevor's not leaving Monkey Force, of course. He's going to go on, he's going to do other things, and he's going to go find more of these kinds of projects. Other parts of the world someplace, maybe in Asia, maybe in Africa, who knows where. And if that happens, he might show up as another site manager again, putting together the benchmark for social performance in Kuwait. I'm not sure your family would go for that, but let's go with that. So, come on up here, Trevor. It'll be your turn.
Oh.
We'll miss you, but that's only because we don't eat well.
Thank you, Tim. I blame Neza for the last 5 years of my life. Tim told a little bit of the story of how I got here, but I'll tell you the real story. Monkey Forest gets in trouble, and Neza says, hey, you should call Trevor to fix it. And Tim's like, really? He's like, yeah, give it a shot. It worked in Liberia, and then it worked here. I remember sitting, last 5 years of my life, Neza, thank you very much. I remember sitting in a container in the middle of the jungle in Liberia. We were actually held hostage by the bush devil. Yeah, same week. And I'm talking to Tim, and he says, I've got what we call a plum position for you. And I was like, what is that? I hope it doesn't involve bending over. Oh, terrible. And I decided to come here. The big thing that made the decision was, I was talking to Tara about the choice, and she said, oh, by the way, I'm pregnant. Right. So let's deal with that at the same time. So we chose, and we came here. And the next 3.5 years is history, which most of you know all of. In particular, Chungang and Hanang and Nam. Those people have been here with me since the very beginning, we think. In that last 3.5 years, there's one number, I think, that captures, most importantly, what we've accomplished. That number is 23. It's the number of times I've sang Careless Whisper at karaoke. It's a very important number. Another number is thousands.
1000 of what?
That's going to happen later, don't you worry. I always give the fans what they want. The other number is thousands. Thousands of households that we have helped. Literally thousands of lives that you have changed. And that's something you can all be very proud of. Another number is 82. 82 was, I think, the biggest our team got when you count NSRP managers, MFC internationals, the whole social team together, all of our community-based hires. That's not even counting service providers and all of their people. That's a big-ass team doing real work, real cutting-edge work in Vietnam. That's another number for us to be proud of. And I think I need to thank some people, for this opportunity. One is I need to thank Tim for trusting me, believing I can do this, and then ignoring my cries for help in the first year and a half, and then sticking his nose into everything I've made afterwards and bothering me. Thank you very much. The other people I need to thank, one of them is not here because he's too busy working like he always is. Kozi-san and Kanai-san sitting over there. I need to thank them for being patient with me because I'm very young. But Kanai-san, I have to say that in the last week I am going to write a memo to you about cumulative impacts to fishermen and inflation. So you can look forward to that on your desk. I need to thank Kanai-san and Kozi-san for creating this space for us to pursue our ideas and to create innovative projects and programs and to trust us to hire all of you. We could not have helped thousands of people with our 82 people if it weren't for their trust and their patience and their bravery to go ahead with what we said. So thank you very much to Kanai-san and Kozi-san. I'd like to thank Hai from ERM for being Hai from ERM.
Giving low pressure.
He's one of my favorites. Kitara-san is also one of my favorites. Always smiling. I'm going to remember every single one of you. I'm going to remember every single project. And I'm going to remember every single moment. You know I don't forget things. And I have a lot. My cup is full. And I will remember all of this. What we've accomplished together over the last 3.5 years has been the proudest professional accomplishment of my life. Without a doubt. What we've achieved together, I think, is incredible. I'm in love with it. I'm sad to leave it, but I have to go. So, when I'm gone, don't give Ben too hard a time. Keep having vision, keep working together, and keep trying your asses off because we're doing something that has real value, real meaning, and we're going to be able to show Vietnam and the rest of the world what we've done. And that's all of you. That's why I'm here. Thank you.